Okay, all set.
Thank you. All right, so I am calling the Southborough Select Board meeting to order on July 22nd, 2022 at 8:04 a.m. Everyone's here except for Ms. Braccio. Okay, we're going to do public comment only at the first of this meeting. This is a short meeting to basically accomplish one big thing. We're not going to do it at the end, although we are going to continue to do public comment on both ends at our regular longer meetings. Is there anyone in? Oh, actually are. Okay, so do we have any public comment? All right, seeing none, let's go on to our consent agenda. We basically are reappointing people who may either have not gotten sworn in within the requisite time, or we're swearing them in or they're being appointed for the first time. So anyone want to pull anything as far as the consent agenda, A and B? Okay. Motion to approve consent agenda as stated on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Sam?
Yes.
Andrew?
Aye.
Chelsea?
Aye.
And Cook is aye, so 4-0. Okay, other matters. I'm going to move this around real quick so that the people who are waiting can go on to work as far as their appointments. Let's get those done first. So I'm going to move up 4B to get that done. So let's start. Let's bring over Doris Cahill first. Good morning, Doris.
Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
I'm fine. So welcome.
Thank you.
So I think everyone probably knows Doris. She's currently an associate member of the ZBA. With Debbie DeMario's election to the planning board, she resigned from the ZBA, so there is an opening on the actual board itself. Doris has expressed a desire to be moved from associate member to full-time member. And that's what we are talking about this morning. So Sam, start with you as far as questions for Doris.
Doris has probably been interviewed by more of us than anybody in town, I think. So I'm very familiar with her. I appreciate the good work she does. I support her position as a regular ZBA member. Hi, Doris.
Hi, Sam. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have been interviewed a few times.
Andrew.
I also don't have any questions for Doris. I know Doris and have spoken to her a lot, so I also support moving her to the full-time ZBA member position.
Okay, and another comment too before I get to Chelsea is that the other associate member has expressed desire not to be moved up. So that was discussed too. So, okay, Chelsea.
Good morning, Doris. And thank you for wanting to become a full-time member on ZBA. I don't have any questions for you at this time.
Okay.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Neither do I. I fully support this. Doris, anything you want to say to us?
No, I've enjoyed being an alternate member, associate member for the last few years. And I've been able to sit on a number of voting decisions, and it seems to suit my background and my temperament, and it's been fun for me so far, not stressful.
That might be about to change.
That may change, Doris. Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay, let's not. I'm not going to think that way. But
no, let's not. Let's not.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah. So it's really been, and I enjoy working with the other members. They're very professional, and I've liked them all. So.
That's good to hear. Okay, so do I have a motion to appoint Doris as a full-time member of the ZBA?
Term expiring. Good.
I don't know. Mark, do you know?
It's right on the agenda, 6/30/27.
Interesting. So they're more than 3 years? They're 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so term expiring 6/30/27. So that's the motion. Okay, so moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion as far as appointing Doris as a full-time member of the ZBA? All right, roll call vote. Sam,
Yes.
Andrew,
Aye.
Chelsea,
Aye.
and Cook is aye. So 4-0 to appoint Doris. So congratulations, Doris, and thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you, Kathy. Just quickly, I was just re-sworn in as my associate. Do I need to do something is my question again?
I do not know, Mark.
I believe you're going to have to get sworn in again now as a full member. So that
I
notice
think-
will be going out to you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll see that in a few days. I should have time. I'm taking some time off in August, early August. So, but seems like plenty of time. Okay.
Town clerk is very accommodating.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I live down the street. We'll get it done. Okay, good.
Okay, sorry about that, Doris. And Doris, just so you know, the other members of the ZBA highly recommended you, so they will be very happy about this.
Oh, good, good. That's good to know, Kathy, after the fact.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right,
No,
so-
they're great. I do get on. We all get on. We differ, but we get on. So we all get along. Okay, good. So I'll move my day along and
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
very much.
Good luck.
Take
Okay,
care.
so Melanie, can you now bring over Brett Peters?
Absolutely. Oh, hang on.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we going to see you? Or are we just going to hear you?
Let's see. I can turn on my video as well. I think. Actually, I don't see. How do I turn on video? I haven't been like a added participant. Do you guys have to turn that on, or do I turn that on?
No, you got to turn it on. You can show your video.
I would be happy to be seen, but all I have is the mute and unmute. I don't. Normally, it always has a turn video on and off. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So we will continue. Okay, so welcome, Mr. Peters.
thank you.
You have expressed interest in the stewardship committee, which his main reason to be is to protect the Breakneck Hill land that we had contributed to us many, many years ago, and then the town forest. So a little bit background for everybody else. Mr. Peters' wife is my office manager in Southborough, so I know this family very well, but I have nothing to do with him being here. I'm glad he's here, but I believe his neighbor, Freddie, is the one that is responsible for recruiting Mr. Peters. So, which kind of makes sense. So welcome, Brad. So why don't you just give us a little bit of background as far as who you are, et cetera. What you do.
Brett Peters. I've lived in Southborough about, I think we've been here 18, 19 years, somewhere around there. I know Freddie fairly well. Most of you probably know Freddie. She lives across the street. And one of the reasons I'm interested in this is I live right near Breakneck Hill, and I've used it for walking, hiking, taking the kids, taking the dog over there. I love the land, and I'd love to, chip in and participate in and help out, maintaining that and improving it in whatever way I can.
That's great. That's great. No, it's a very, very nice piece of property that a lot of people enjoy. So, all right. So I'm just going to go around the room, Brad, and let each select board member ask you what they want to ask you. Sam?
Thank you. And thank you, Brett, for volunteering here. Is there any specific issue or opportunity you want to pursue with this position relative to the lands that the committee protects?
I guess I have nothing specific yet. I have a couple ideas for a couple of smaller things to start. So I'm not an expert at some of this stuff yet. So I want to work with the committee and see what they're already planning. There's a few things I'd like to do related to some of the picnic tables are rotten up there. I'd love to replace those. I have this project I'd like to talk to them about planting some native blueberry bushes. Yeah, other than that, I kind of want to start small and then work my way up to, working on the bigger projects.
Okay, thanks. And the recommendations that you have are plenty good enough for me. So I certainly support your participation here. Thank you very much for volunteering.
Andrew?
I don't have any questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. I
Yep.
look forward to supporting your appointment.
Thank you.
Chelsea?
Mr. Peters, thank you for applying. Is this your first board or committee that you've served for the town of Southborough?
Yes, it would be my first one. So
Excellent. Okay, that's great. I look forward to supporting your appointment.
great. Thank you.
And we got a email from the current committee chair supporting this nomination also, FYI. All right, so Brett, I have no questions. I know you very well. Okay, so do I have a motion to appoint Brett to the stewardship committee
Term.
for a term
6/23.
30/23? So Brett, this you must be filling someone else's position because this is short. So you'll have to be reappointed next year too. Okay, so
So move.
Second.
okay, Chelsea seconded. Any further discussion of Mr. Peters' appointment? Roll call vote. Sam,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Chelsea,
Aye.
and Cook is aye, so 4-0. So welcome, Brett. Thank you very much. I think you'll enjoy working with the others on your committee, and thank you for doing this.
All right. And thank you very much.
Okay,
Appreciate it, everybody.
all righty. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, now before we get to the main reason we're here today, I see in our audience, Andrew, Ms. Martinez. So why don't we at least bring her over and explain to her where we are as far as the working group goes?
Okay.
Hi,
Hey, good morning.
good morning.
And is it Jay Malay? Is that how you say your first name?
Jamalat.
Jay Malay. Okay. So welcome. Are you on California time?
No, I'm in Providence right now.
You're Brown. Okay. All right. So we are not going to, we have tabled your appointment this one. We're going to table this because we need to make sure that we are doing this correctly. You don't live in Southborough. We know you go to school at St. Mark's, and to be on a committee, you have to be a resident if you're going to be a full voting member. So we just want to make sure we've got our ducks in a row as far as that goes. So we will be back to you when you get back to school to consider this. We've got your request. We see your background, which is great. We love what you do at St. Mark's School. So we certainly are interested in this, but we're just not ready to do this today because of what I just said.
Okay, thank you.
Andrew, you want to say anything?
No, Jemalet and I have had an email exchange over the last day that I think the ball is in my court to get back to her about other ways that she can be involved, even if it's not as a member, and we're interested in that. But Kathy, you're right that the charge says that members have to be Southborough residents, and so that prevents us from acting on this right now.
But Jamie, let me just make sure you understand this board is very interested in this park and doing this park right. And considering all the things that need to take place. There is an archaeological study that is underway right now to make sure we understand what is under the land that we're talking about building the park on. The person who's doing the study is quite competent, a really interesting guy. And he's actually going to do the work himself with one other person, and it's going to start, we think, in a couple of weeks. He's got to wait till he gets approval from the state, and that's in process. So we are trying to do this right, but we are hopeful we're going to end up with a really nice park that everybody's happy with at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming in this morning. So we will be in touch with you. All right. Okay. So now the two substantive topics that we're here for today. So Mark, you want to take it from here as far as police chief search process?
Sure. This is essentially the same letter that was in the packet last time, and so I've taken Ms. Hale's memo and flipped it around a little bit. One of the things that the recommendation has not changed. However, I have vetted the recommendation with two members of our community who are either former or current public safety. One is Brennan Berry, and the other is Pete Goodney. I think you know them both through their work with the Public Safety Study Committee, Public Safety Building Committee, and they both were very happy to. I didn't actually ask them. I kind of told them, that I need your assistance. So they both were very helpful. Both felt that that this was the right path to go, and are looking forward to being involved in helping the consultant put together the assessment center in a way that that reflects what Southborough is looking for. So the recommendation is for the board to engage Community Paradigm Associates for the amount of $6,000 to conduct the assessment center for our police chief candidates.
All right, Sam, questions?
No, I had some concerns originally in terms of, I didn't understand exactly, how it was going to be structured, who was going to be doing the work, but it seems to me to be now focused correctly here. So I'm fine with the proposal.
Andrew,
I'm also fine with the proposal.
Chelsea.
I just have one question. Mark, do you know the timeline of what they're suggesting this process will take?
So I think they would like to do this within the first couple of weeks of August.
Okay.
To do the assessment, excuse me, to do the assessment center. I think that's going to be dependent on how quickly I can get Brennan and Pete together with the consultant. I think the consultant will be available, but I know that at least one of those gentlemen is taking some vacation. And
Okay.
so I'm going to try to be as inclusive as we can while continuing to keep the ball moving forward. I think that once the assessment center is complete, obviously I think the board would do interviews. And then after those interviews, the board would make a decision, and hopefully shortly after Labor Day, the board's made a decision and we've begun the process to, to put things in place to move forward. So that's the timeline that I'm looking at.
Okay.
So let's do that again. Let's make sure we're clear. So we think by middle of August, the assessment center will have completed its work based on what you think right now.
I'm hoping the assessment center is conducted by the second week of August.
Okay, then between August 15th and the first week in September, we're hoping to have the select board do their interviews of the candidates, right?
Correct.
Make our decision and then start the process of getting a contract executed.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe, if we just set a goal, maybe by the middle of September, we're done.
I would hope that, we're in a more permanent place.
Okay,
How's that?
all right, okay. All right, so I had that question too. My second question is the $6,000. Have we agreed that it's going to come out of the fiscal year 23 police department budget?
Yes.
Okay,
That's where it's going to come from. That's where it's going to come from for now, and we'll carry it for the year and we'll see how it goes.
okay, that makes sense. All right, any further questions on the status of the police chief search process? All right. Okay, next item is,
Kathy,
yes,
just before, do we need a formal vote to proceed with this, or?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. So the motion is to approve the hiring of Community
Paradigm
Paradigm
Associates.
Associates for $6,000 to put together the assessment process for any internal candidates for police chief.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Sam,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Chelsea,
Aye.
and Cook is aye. So 4-0 to approve the hire.
Thank you.
Okay, now moving on. Okay, so the next one is the goal assignment process we're going through right now. So we're going to table this for the moment because it's been a little bit of a mix-up, which we are about to get straightened out. So apparently Chelsea's and Lisa's goals might have gotten conflated as one of the others and not both of them. So
That was my fault.
It's all fine. So if Mike is going to send out a fresh spreadsheet shortly and take another look at it. If you see there's multiple ones, decide whether you want to pull yours off that. We can end up with more than one person on a couple of those. You can't have 3 because we end up with a quorum issue. You can discuss them, but we could have 2. So take a look at them. There's going to be a couple blanks. We need to get those filled in, but it's not bad. I think there's 3 blanks left right now out of 28. So it's going to come back out with the corrections made as far as what Chelsea and Lisa submitted. So that's coming shortly. Then Mark will then make your comments, get them back to Mark. He'll then massage it again and send it back out. So we'll get this done shortly. We're going to have to go through another couple of iterations to get it done.
It was interest. I'm sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I thought we were going to have a horse trading session here. I'll trade you 2 of mine for 3 of yours, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Well,
no, but it was interesting because you kind of gave it to me in different formats. Kathy, you went through and gave it inside the sheet. Sam took it a step further, went inside the sheet, gave his first and second choices. Andrew did the most literary job, and kind of gave a breakdown of each section of what he might like to do and where he felt comfortable. And I had to kind of try to navigate through some of that. And Chelsea and Lisa had given me an email with just a list of here's the 5 things I want. And if you looked at the emails quickly, you cannot tell which is which. Because they're structured the same. They're looking for different numbers. But so when I was putting everything together, I put in, I believe, Lisa's or Chelsea's, I can't remember which. And then I went to do the other one and the sheet looked the same. And so at the end, it didn't bother me that, well, they just want the same things. And Chelsea quickly clarified that for me that I had made a mistake. So I will clean that up. I will get that back out to you today so that you can begin taking a look at where we have, more than one person who's interested in the goal. People can decide if they want to back off. The board can decide, as the chair has suggested, they can have multiple people, and then where the gaps are, and if anybody's willing to jump into those gaps.
Okay, I didn't realize how confusing we made this. So this is what we're going to do to make this work much easier. So you probably do this in Word sometimes. We're going to put this on OneDrive and we're going to send it out as a shared file. So everybody just needs to write on that file. It will automatically update for everybody. Everybody will have the same one. Don't take anybody's name off it other than yours. So don't do that, but put yours where you want it, take it off where you want to take it off if you see duplication, and it will automatically update. So I will get Jay to help us get that done this morning. So we'll get it out and it will make it a little bit easier this next time. So no, we don't need any comments, no verbal, no ranking, just work with the spreadsheet itself as far as your initials go. How about that, Mark?
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
But Jay is off today, but we can try and get that done.
Okay, I think I can do this, so I'll work with you. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, last thing is, and we're going to make 8:20. We got 4 minutes. Okay, so communication with Public Works Planning Board. We talked about this last meeting. Some things have happened since then. Public Works Planning Board did meet jointly on Monday with Capital, so that was productive. Since then, we have received the traffic study from VHB. So the question is, do we want to ask the PWPB this morning to do anything for select board? Any advice, any recommendations to them? Do we want to communicate at this point? Sam.
I remain interested in doing this, and I think that it was interesting meeting with Capital. I think there are some things that clearly fall in Capital's purview. I think there are some that are not so capital oriented that we would be eager to, I'd be eager to get feedback from the Public Works Planning Board. The ones on my list still are the invasive / vegetation management issue, the traffic study for truck exclusions, maybe the flagged Deerfoot intersection issue. And we've had questions about recycling and sustainability that, again, I don't think is a capital issue, but something that I think is a good topic for the Public Works Planning Board. So those are the ones on my list at this point.
Okay, Chelsea, do you have to break exactly at 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay, so real quickly, we have talked about most of these, at least Mark and I have. Chelsea, what is the Board of Health doing as far as the vegetation management plan, which I'm trying to...
So we've been in contact with Karen. I know Heather and Karen have been going back and forth, and I think the intent is that Karen would run by, there's a 5-year plan due, I believe, in the fall. And I think Karen's willing to work with Board of Health. So I don't really know what we would be asking Public Works Planning Board to do exactly. I think if there's something that Heather and Karen can't work out, then we can ask, but I guess I just don't know what we would be asking them to do.
As long as Board of Health is doing that, Chelsea, I'm fine with it. I think the topic needs to be addressed. I've got some other ideas I can pass along, but
Okay.
that's good.
And I've been talking to Karen about being more proactive going forward so that we don't have kind of these questions up in the air at this time next year. So I do think that there's things in the works. So I'm comfortable on that one. I'm not necessarily opposed to sending a letter. I just thought we were going to see a draft before we sent it. That's what I was looking for in the
Well, we
last.
will, but we got to decide what's going to go in the letter. So I'm
Okay.
trying to get the topic. So yeah, so we got to get the topics before we draft it. What are we going to put in the letter if we don't know the topic?
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
I would be okay with them looking at Deerfoot and Flag and the traffic study.
Okay. Andrew, any disagreement with those two?
No, I know I got about 30 seconds, but on the traffic study, I
We
think
can keep going.
first-
Chelsea's going to drop off. I want to get this one done, so we'll keep going.
Okay.
She said what she
I
wants to do
think-
this one. So
So the traffic study picks up where we kind of left off like 6 or 8, 9 months ago, where maybe by the third meeting to discuss the request for a flag road truck exclusion. And my memory of it was the thing that really seemed to prevent the flag road truck exclusion was the fact that we still have a truck exclusion on Route 30 going west of the center of town. Okay, so Sam is nodding his head, so I think so that's one thing that this report considered. I think we should first, and it's just a matter of timing because we only have one meeting in August. We should maybe give a sense of what our tentative thinking is on what action items might come out of this traffic study. And then I would be more than happy to hear what feedback the Public Works Planning Board has on it. But I just want to be clear, like, that's the context that this traffic study came about. It was really in considering the flag road truck exclusion, and Marty Healy was the one that really advocated for this, of rather than think about one road, let's think about the big picture. So like I would prefer to have kind of focused feedback from the planning board once we have kind of a tentative sense of what we might do, because the Public Works Planning Board, its charge is really to advise the select board. I think we first need to think about, okay, what policy decisions are we inclined to make based on this report, rather than just getting kind of just a bunch of feedback to the report itself.
okay, so this is tentatively on the August 9th agenda, just so you know. So
Okay.
I think we'll just keep it there. We won't send the letter yet. We'll talk about it again. To me, the big issue is going to be Main Street, right? As far as whether you
Yep.
take it off or not. And there's going to be a lot of people, I think, on both sides of that one.
Kathy,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt because I know I'm being conscious of Chelsea's time.
I'm leaving.
Are
but
you
I agree
inviting
with-
anyone from VHP to come to that meeting too? So that if they author the report, if we have feedback questions, we could ask them that too.
Okay. All right.
I
so-
agree with Andrew, and I'll see you all later.
Okay.
Have a
bye-bye.
good day.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, so we've agreed that we're going to put this on the August 9th agenda to discuss the study and to invite VHB to, so we can ask any questions we have on this.
Yes.
Right? And then from that meeting, we'll decide what our next step's going to be.
Mhm. And hopefully, per Andrew's comment, I think that it would be helpful for us to individually at least be prepared to have proposals for, what we're interested in, the points that we'd like to see resolved, or the focus that we'd suggest for next steps for analysis of this.
I
Yeah,
would think
yeah.
the goal is to, at that meeting, come up with our next steps. So we keep it moving forward. The study's done. Now what do we do?
I also think that the August 9th, that's to really kind of begin the discussion, but I would be concerned about taking any vote to do something as significant as, removing a truck exclusion on Route
No,
30 in an August meeting,
No.
because August meetings are not, there's a lot of people that are not out of town, not paying as much attention. So
I-
it's something
I
we
think
can
we
begin
agree
the
with-
discussion and
Yeah.
then really make decisions early fall.
I think we agree with you. So the goal of that meeting is to decide what the next step is, not to start voting on truck exclusions, right? To start, what do we want to do? Do we want to ask the PWP, after we've heard all this, after we've had our questions answered, do we then want to go to them and say, okay, now take a look at it and come back and let us know what you think we should do, talk to the public, whatever. So we'll come up with our plan at August 9th, but we don't intend to actually vote on a truck exclusion. Correct?
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. Okay, so 8:33, we did pretty good. Okay, so that's it for the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Andrew?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Sam?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Cook? Aye, 3-0 to adjourn. Thank you, Mark.